Alrighty, let's go ahead and just try to make this happen. Let's see if I'm live. One moment. It says I'm here, so I'm trying to get it popping with this OBS. It might be a little slow, so bear with me. But we're about to get it all the way jumped off here in a second. Just need to pull up another window. And can y'all hear me okay? You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing my normal thing that I would do, so I'm just doing a little check right now. Next time I'll name the stream and everybody will know it's popping. But here we go. One moment. So I'm gonna pull up another tab right here. Bang. And I want to go to one moment, new tab. There we go. Okay. And show. So y'all, I wanted to talk about some things tonight, but really right now we're just getting all the I'm just trying to refigure out OBS, how to do it all right again, how to not mess everything up, and how to deliver the message. Really what this is for, so that way I can share my screen and I can get some information related to y'all a little bit differently, a little bit better. So if I close down the screen and you can't see me, don't worry about that, because obviously for good reasons it's going to be like that. So give me one moment. I'm going to pull up bombing in Costa Rica Army base. Oh, can I get some love? There we go. June 17th. So Colombia, excuse me. There we go. And let me blow the screen up for y'all so y'all can see it better. Oh my goodness. What is this? No, don't want none of that. Colombian diocese condemns car bombing at Army base. June 17th, 2021. This is just a couple of days ago. And this is just a random live, so we're not going to get too boggled down in all this information, because this is about Rick. This is the stuff I was telling y'all about, though. And I'm going to show y'all a few different things. I'm going to connect a couple dots, and then we're just going to have a regular conversation about anything else. So it said the Diocese of Cúcuta, Colombia, has condemned Wednesday's attack carried out against the 30th Brigade of the National Army and warned that hatred and revenge create a maelstrom of violence. A car bomb exploded June 16 at the military base in Cúcuta, injuring 36 people. Now, what they're not saying in this is that Cúcuta is right on this army base is right on the border of Venezuela. Okay. Now, we're not going to read all this. Now, I'm going to go ahead and pull up, go ahead and Google again. Iran boats change path. Change path. Bam. There we go. Bam. 4 days ago. Let me just make sure y'all can see this. Okay, y'all can see that. All right. Iranian warships, once believed to be headed towards Venezuela, changed course, U.S. officials say. Now, this, too, is from 4 days ago. Okay? 6/17/2021. Now, listen to me, y'all. What are the chances, the odds, the compound probability that on June 16th there was a bombing in Colombia on the border of Venezuela, the same country that they're supposed to be going to? Think about it. Why else would they have changed course? Because they didn't want anything, they didn't want any association with that. You understand? Because it's bad enough that they get called terrorists by the way that they believe and by the way that they conduct themselves. So the Iranian Navy ships, let's just read a little bit of it, believed to be originally headed towards Venezuela, changed course early this week and are now steaming north up the west coast of Africa, U.S. officials said. Now, while I'm right here, I'm going to go back to this little bing right here, right? Watch this. Navy uses bomb off Florida coast. Oh, one letter shy. I need y'all to see this shit. This is wild. Now, I know all this stuff is kind of far away for people, but I need y'all to understand the timing of everything that's going on. I got a Rick that's coming together right now that I have to see what their president in Iran is going to do, and I'm trying to wait. I'm trying to wait on China to see what they're going to say about the young Wuhan virus, but they make being patient real difficult. Okay, this page doesn't want to load. Let's try another one. Let's see if the preview will show us. It's probably super duper little, but if y'all can see that, I need y'all to understand it's a massive explosion. Okay? Massive. Back to Iranian warships. And that's the U.S. Navy who blew that stuff up. Over there off the 100 miles off the coast. They said that no one was harmed. Obviously, any marine life that was in the water in that general area is dead. As dead as can be. Crazy. Anyway, let me keep reading. The ships, which U.S. officials believe may have been preparing to conduct an arms transfer, have appeared to change course several times during their journey from Iran and could do so again. But after the course changed early this week, they are more likely headed into the Mediterranean, potentially planning to sail off of Syria or north towards Russia, according to a defense official briefed on the situation, who spoke on condition of anonymity to discuss a sensitive subject. this is the last part I'm going to read and I'm done with this. U.S. officials believe the course change indicates that a diplomatic campaign to urge governments in the Western Hemisphere to turn away the ships was successful. U.S. officials believe course changes indicate that a diplomatic campaign to urge governments in the Western Hemisphere to turn away the ships was successful. The Iranian frigate Sahan and a float staging base Makran charted a new course after Biden officials publicly and privately urged the governments of Venezuela, Cuba, and other countries in the region not to allow them to dock. Now, I need y'all to understand this. Now, y'all know how close Cuba is to damn Florida, right? See, all those places are like, and I'm not going to say they're right by one another, but they're close enough. So, what we have going on here is like, let me find my, one moment. Get my phone out so that way I can pull up the page and I'll turn this volume down. Go to my own page so I can see what's going on. So that way you guys don't have to see me, see y'all, right on? Because that's normally how it goes. I just look at the screen and voila, you know. But as you guys just heard, they so-called encourage all these Western governments to do whatever, right? But really what I just read to y'all was the fact that the Iranians, like I said, did not want to get caught up in all that nonsense, right? And then also what they didn't want to happen. One second. And also what they didn't want to happen, right? How you doing, brother Corey Tyler? How you doing? So I'm going to set my phone right here. Try to pay attention. Or I'm going to set it down by my feet. But check me out, gentlemen, brothers and sisters, when everybody gets around to catching this. This is epic, okay? Now, that little brief time I just shared with you is literally, in a nutshell, the flexing. Now, if y'all remember when I did the Rick, the Way of the Warrior, Rick had cleared the whole daggone Indian Ocean, right? Cleared it all out. Just so Iran could go through. And like I said, they were going to swim down and then swim up. And then swim, and then, I mean, not swim, but, sail down, sail up the coast of Africa, and then go. But what I said still turned out to be, they still sailed up the coast. They didn't do nothing crazy. That's because that's how you have to go. That's the only feasible trajectory they could use without causing problems. And give me one moment, brothers and sisters. Like I said, that Navy bomb, man, I gotta get a picture. I gotta get the video of this. You know what? Let me check my history. Bang. And let me go through. Give me 1 second, y'all. Whole lot of YouTube. Talk about the Sri Lanka thing too. I guess over there in Sri Lanka they spilt enough chemical materials. They said it's done irreparable harm and damage to the planet. Crazy, crazy, crazy. I don't know why it's not coming up, y'all. I'm just gonna have to just oh. Here we go. Let's see if this one will come up. Oh, here we are. Let's just hope that it loads. Just give it a second, y'all. This shit is wild. Did you fucking see that? I gotta replay this shit. This shit is crazy, y'all. This is not a fucking movie. They really did this shit. This is another reason I feel that the Iranians didn't want to be anywhere close. Even though this happened 100 miles off the coast of Florida, where do you think they're closer to? Right. Open water where there are no rules. Hold on, go back. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. You see how they do me, y'all? You see how they do me? They are so badly trying to make me upset. Here we go. Thank you. Man. They make everything so
the US Navy has released jaw-dropping video that shows the moment a bomb exploded off the coast of Florida.
This is the shit that's going on, y'all.
40,000-pound bomb exploding at one of its aircraft
40,000-pound bomb
to test its wartime abilities. The
20 tons,
so
y'all.
Big it caused a 3.9 magnitude earthquake.
Caused a 4.0 earthquake.
60 kilometers away.
Okay, then. Bang. Oh. Ho. Let's just pull this up on Google and have it ready to go. So, brothers and sisters, how are y'all, man? How's everybody doing, though? You know, there's an echo. Oh, let me see about that, brother. Is there still an echo, my brother? I'm just now looking down and seeing that. Let me know if I've fixed any of that. If I've helped remedy the situation at all. Because I'm just now seeing that, family. So, is it still echoing really bad, or has it been remedied? I just turned down the volume on my side. I just turned down my input volume a little bit, so that way I'll turn down the output a little bit too. But okay, well, I'm just making sure though, bro, because still I don't want it to be sounding crazy. I don't want people to think I did something janky. You know what I mean? Knowing that I had to buy a new laptop. Anyway, went through some trouble just to get this to pop for everybody. So, I would just hope that they really do appreciate it. And I have to get all my pictures all over again, y'all. So you're gonna have to give me, I don't know, almost a week because I'm working this new job and I'm working 6, 7 hour days and I'm actually working. So I have to, conserve my energy to try to do the right things. But still, I just wanted to point that out. Now that we're past that, listen, just hear this, just hear your brother out. People have been talking about this thing called critical race theory, right? We're going to pull this up. It should almost be right for it, right? Breaking forward. Oh. Look at it. It already knows what I want to do. Don't play with me. There we go. Now look. In the field of legal studies, critical race theory emphasizes that merely making laws colorblind on paper may not be enough to make the application of laws colorblind. Ostensibly, colorblind laws can be applied in a racially discriminatory ways. Now listen, what this is trying to say is that the system is rigged. Now we're going to leave that up there for everybody to see. I know it's a little blurry, but hold on, let me see if I can. I can't zoom in with make it bigger with this. There we go. Sure can. Bam. So that's what we're gonna start doing from now on. I'll just blow up the picture. I'll just blow up the screen, and it should be a little more. Yeah, that's better. That's better. That's still legible. Anyhow, the point is this: critical nig theory is what I call it. Right. This is my real thoughts on the matter. And I'm not joking about it at all. I call it critical nig theory for one reason. Because this stuff is about black people when it's all said and done. I'm not going to make all these wars about us. I could, once again, there's ways to finagle that. But we're going to talk about this because this is what I really wanted to speak on. Because I felt like it's a load of shit. First and foremost, you can't theorize that black people have been locked up, okay, for crimes they didn't commit. That alone makes it to where there is no theory. Right on. Let me just go ahead and break something down to y'all. When they have theories, right, real scientists, when they actually theorize, they do an experiment, right, and they have controlled variable, responding variable, dependent variable, independent variable, and the manipulated variables. Right on? So when you have this concept that people don't, y'all got to really hear what I'm saying, though. You got a group of people who will sit in a room and literally will study how sunlight at a certain angle or a certain trajectory affects how trees or produce is how it grows, right? And then at the same rate, you follow what I'm saying? Like I said, your control variables, your dependent variables, your independent variables. So a controlled variable would be like the amount of light, okay, that you put to the plants, right? Responding variable, right, is obviously the noticeable signs of growth or decay or any sort of trepidation it seems like the plant goes through, or any sort of success it has. Your dependent variable, which is something like it goes into the controlled variable section in a sense because a dependent variable is something that actually what happens with this will affect it. So we'll say the leaves, right on. We'll say that the responding variable we're going to pay attention to is the growth, but the dependent variables is we'll monitor because they depend on the light. Independent variable would be something like you could say the soil in this case because it won't change. All the soil You could say that's a control variable, but that's still independent. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't. That will not matter. Or you could say the water that you're going to give the plants, because it'll be the same amount. Or you could make that. Or you could all the things that I'm saying you could put in different places and change them around. Your manipulated variable could also be a controlled variable in one instance of the project. Your responding variable, okay, might be a dependent variable in one instance of the project or a part of that. So what I'm trying to say is that a theory, right? When you put it together, you have to be able to do all these things. So let's just theorize what they're saying. What are the dependent variables in this case, in this matter? Well, what's dependent is the actual the law itself. Okay, is dependent because it's how it's written. We'll say it like that. The independent variable, we'll say, is how the law is practiced or carried out. The manipulated variable is who carries out the law. The controlled variable, okay, is who you control or who you take out or how you exercise, who this law is exercised upon. So we'll control how much we do this to one group, how much we do it to another group. Right on? You get what I'm saying? Um, your manipulated variable we could argue is the sentencing. You could argue is even the response given to a certain enforcement of a believed or particular law. So what I'm trying to say is that if you have one person, just just listen to me. If you have just one person locked up right now who shouldn't be locked up and they're crying and yelling and kicking and screaming, I'm innocent, then critical race theory is not a theory. Right on? And it's not, and it's, I don't even know why it's called critical race. See, it should just be called, do you hate niggas theory? If that's the case, right? Critical nig theory. Because critical race theory doesn't tell people anything. Right on? That's just a real loose blanket ass term that folks get to throw around. Now, why I say this is because, and why I'm bringing this up is because I hear a lot of folks say a lot of things, and I was going to tell y'all about this okie doke bullshit push that they want to try to get people to get off of reparations. So let me tell y'all something. Like I told you, if you don't feel you are worth $1 trillion, get your bitch ass in the back. We don't need you in the front, ranting and raving, hooting and hollering, making it hard on the rest of us. You see what I'm saying? Just like people don't have to believe when I say like, yo, there's never going to be a nuclear war. It's not going to happen. There's not going to be a nuclear fallout. It's never going to happen. I'm not even going to pull up. No, I will pull up. 1 second. The little article about China talking about how. 1 second. China wants to talks about disarmament. Where's this at? And don't worry, I haven't forgot about critical nig theory. I just want y'all to see this. June 11th, right? China calls for multilateral disarmament to seek common security. Listen, man. Nobody's fucking with me, okay? They're not fucking with your boy. They can't even get on the level because they don't know. So when I say stuff like, yo, there's not going to be a nuclear fallout. If China's the second largest economy in the world, and Russia's one of the largest economies in the world, and they're saying that we want the U.S. and for Russia to talk about disarmament, what do you think the whole point of disarmament is for? To lull the U.S. to sleep so that way they can get that ass. But that's neither here nor there. Now let's get back to this critical nig theory, because a lot of people are going to act like it don't matter. A lot of people are going to act like what I'm saying, it might be not true to them, but I know what's true to me. is that it's not easy to ask people to respect another person who they were taught to disrespect. Let me go ahead and put it to y'all like this. If you were always taught that black people, that the best of them, right, were activists, that the best of them, right, are high level athletes, that the best of them are entertainers. You get what I'm talking about? So that means that the rest of us who are not those things, they will overlook us, or they'll sequester us into a group that we probably don't even belong. So what ends up happening is that brothers and sisters who shouldn't be put in positions are, especially where it's life or death. You understand what I'm saying? Police practice very lax discretion with black people, if the word discretion is even the word to use. But they practice such a lax, nonchalant, we don't really give a fuck about you attitude, that critical race theory, once again, it's not a theory, it's a thing. They would have been better off calling this a conspiracy, right on? Because that would have made sense. Because to conspire is to plan against you, okay? So that's why when people say conspiracy theory, I'm like, there's no such thing. Either they plotted against you or they didn't. You follow what I'm saying? So when people say conspiracy, to conspire means that you plotted against someone, that you plotted something. It's if you did that, number one, it's not a theory. Number two, it is a conspiracy. Right. So this is not a theory. Okay? What happened to Emmett Till? Listen to this. Listen to this. What happened to Emmett Till? Right? Critical race theory can't explain that. It can't. Listen, the court system failed. The justice system failed. It aborted justice purposely to let Polly Purebred, right, and her incestual brother cousins walk away from that situation. Beat that boy's face in. Need y'all to understand what I'm saying. Even if there was a law on the books that said that a black man wasn't to make eye contact with a white woman, I can guarantee you the punishment on paper back then would not have been to be your death. Right. So even when you talk about critical race theory and you apply the law of the land to times before now, what they're saying totally makes 0% sense. And for there's this black dude. I gotta put his bitch ass on blast. 1 second. He's got to get put on blast because he's a fucking sellout. 1 second. Black father blast critical race theory. Oh my goodness. There we go. We're not gonna watch him. No, we're gonna listen to him if we can. Pull him on up, Meech.
When you talk about critical race theory, which is pretty much going to be teaching kids how to hate each other, how to dislike each other, that's pretty much, I don't care what you say, it's pretty much what it's going to all come down to. You're going to deliberately teach kids, this white kid right here.
Now I need y'all to understand.
White?
Do y'all see all those white folks in the background?
The black people are all down and suppressed. How do I have 2 medical degrees if I'm sitting here oppressed? How do I get?
Do y'all see all those white folks in the background?
We've only got 5 minutes now. 5 minutes. 2 medical degrees. No mom, no dad in the house. Worked my way through college. Sat there and hustled my butt off to get through college. You gonna tell me somebody that look like all y'all white folks kept me from doing that? Are you serious? What's sickening about this whole thing is what y'all doing right now is already something I do in my community right now to speak out against stuff, because black folks are getting told by other black folks, oh, you know you ain't gonna be able to do nothing out there in the world because
look at that.
Ain't gonna let you get no, oh, you know you're not gonna be able to do it here because the white man gonna keep you down. Well, how did I get where I am right now if some white man kept me down?
Because they let your black ass in. You see what I'm saying? We're gonna listen to this dumbass.
What kept me down? What oppressed me? I worked for myself from off the streets to where I am right now. You gonna sit here and tell me this lie of critical race theory? This the reason why black folks can't get ahead because of white folks? Are you kidding me? This is what we come to now. I can't believe we even talking about this right now. The last thing I'm going to say right here is something that's crazy. Martin Luther King said he wanted his kids to grow up in a world where they are judged by the contents of their what? Their character, not their skin. If they let this stuff go on right now, it is absolutely doing the complete reverse of what he's doing. So when February comes, don't talk about Martin Luther King. When February comes, don't talk about Black History Month. Y'all gonna sit there and just pee on his grave with this nonsense. That's exactly what's about to happen. When it all comes down to it, the person that's going to be suffering from this, the one's going to be hurt from this, is the kids. 10 years from now, if this stuff goes on, whose fault is it going to be? Whose fault is it going to be? Who we going to look back on the blame for this? Because this is stuff we're talking about right now. This stuff is going on right now. I do this stuff on a daily basis. I'm in the hood. I'm in the communities. I'm out there with folks in their face. I've been doing stuff since I was 18 years old, talking to black folks. And you know what? None of them are buying this nonsense. None of them are. But if you want to implement this into the school system, I guarantee you to the day that I die, I'm going to be the very person right there debunking stuff, tearing stuff down, letting them know they can do exactly what I did and get exactly where I am by putting themselves...
Kissing white ass, putting his head down every single time a motherfucking nigga gets accosted by the system. See, I'm gonna leave his coon ass picture up because I need y'all to look at that coon ass nigga. See, ain't nobody called this bitch ass nigga out. Not for real, for real. Word. And this nigga is, when I say a coon of all levels, this nigga's a coon of all levels. So I can't help that this dude doesn't like me or you for speaking out against something that truly happens. So let me just pull something up real quick. Because he said what he said, right? Well, let me go to Google. Google should get to it pretty quick. Bang, bang. Well, that's just a little bit smaller. There we go. Man gets $750,000 for 44 years in prison. There we go. Ronnie Long. Let's pull him up. Critical race theory, huh? Hold on, man. They done got my brother's picture in here. Oh, got a video right here. No fucking pride bullshit. See, you see how they do your boy? Give me 1 second, man. This be him. Let me just go up and get some images. Images. Bang bang. Now we're not gonna watch the whole video. But we're gonna watch enough of it. Oh, we gotta deal with the ad, huh? You know what? I know what I'll do. I'll just I don't know why I went back. I'll just copy this. Damn. Can I get some love here? There we go. Copy. Give me 1 moment. I'm gonna throw this into the studio. So yeah, y'all. This brother literally go ahead and cut that down. This brother literally 44 years in prison for a crime he didn't commit. And the man said, yo, 1 second. The man said, hey, my mother and my father both passed away while I was in prison. You understand what I'm saying, y'all? So he lost both of his parents, okay? And there's nothing he can do about that. Nothing. There's nothing that's going to change that. There's nothing that's going to make that better. So sometimes I just believe that folks don't really appreciate, like what's really going on. Because ain't nobody going, once again, I read every day. I engage with reading every day. I'm going to read a little something from the Bible here in a second. And I'm going to expose something about Paul, right? But I got some Bible stuff I'm working on. So once again, there's a few different little things I got my hands in that I don't want to give too much away about, because every time I drop too many jewels and gems out there in the streets, you know what I'm saying? There's always unconventional forces, if you will, that seek to do the wrong thing. So that's why, I feel for the brother, because he spent 44 years of his life, and I need somebody to go ahead and pull that up and just look at it. 44 years. Understand me. I'm 30. So 14 more years longer than I've been on this earth is how much time he spent in prison. Anybody in their 40s or older than that understands how long that man was away. They gave him $750,000. Elder Ronnie goes on to explain that he was a brick mason for a major tenure of his time in prison. They stole his whole life from him, y'all. Is that critical race theory? Is it critical race theory when the police officers get it wrong? The laws are supposed to be colorblind, right? You know what else is colorblind? Bullets. That's right. That's colorblind. Bullets are colorblind. Bullets don't see race or genealogy or phenotype or any of those things. Bullets just shred through anything they can shred through. So when they say it's a theory, and you have one coon ass nigga who clearly has not had his head kicked in by no officers, even though he might not have even done anything wrong. It's not their job to physically assault people. Do y'all understand me? It's not the police's job to do that. I don't give a fuck what the crime is. Their job is to arrest you, to apprehend you, and then to bring you to jail so that way you can be brought to justice by the courts. It's not their fucking job to try to execute justice right there on the spot because they feel that this is what you deserve. 44 years that man spent in prison. Somebody tell me what is theoretical about those 44 years. Somebody, please. And if nobody can tell me what's theoretical, thank you very much. You feel me? If you can't tell me what's theoretical, thank you very much. That means that's bullshit. Black man, black woman, black child, it should be in your mind to stand up for yourself. It shouldn't be in your mind to act a complete, stark, mad, raving fool. But there are moments in which zeal is called for. And there's a thin line between being a hardline extremist and being a true zealot. Very, very, very thin line. And it's just about the decisions you make and the heart you have when you make those decisions. It's the truth. But I'm telling y'all, I've seen more damage than good. 1 second. Okay, so that link is there. Cool. Had to make sure that I got that link got there. Now here we are, y'all. What is it going to take for black people to appreciate that you can't? Let me read something to y'all. We've all heard of the laws of Moses. Yes, we have. In fact, I read all 5 books of Moses last year, if anyone forgot. I'm going to read something to you. This is the first book. This is the first chapter of the Proverbs, verse 1. Just listen to this. The Proverbs of Solomon, son of David, who reigned in Israel, to know wisdom and instruction, and to perceive words of understanding, to receive also hard sayings or turnings, naughty words, right? And to understand true justice and how to direct judgment, that he might give subtly to the simple and to the young man discernment or discretion and understanding. For by the hearing of these, a wise man will be wiser, and the man of understanding will gain direction, and will understand a parable and a dark speech, the saying of the wise also, and riddles. Stop right there. Do y'all know that at no piece of that, at no part of that, is the law brought up, obviously, right? But the reason why I'm bringing that to bear, understand this. The same way that he's talking is the same way that Paul talks. So I can contend one of two things. One, if Paul never actually truly existed, then they chose the literary art of the Proverbs to write the books of Paul, the letters, right? Or Paul was a real person. Paul took more to the Proverbs than he did to the laws. Because at no point in the Proverbs does it talk about circumcision. Y'all can look it up if you think I'm tripping. No point. The Proverbs is really just a bunch of gobbledygook. People don't even want to hear that. Really read the Proverbs and compare what he's saying to the letter of the law. The wisdom you would need is to make the right judgment call. Right. So true justice is doing the right thing. But the laws tell you what to do. So how could he understand something outside of the law? See, I need y'all to realize this. Solomon was called evil in his last days. We don't know when Solomon wrote the Proverbs. We don't know when he wrote the Ecclesiastes. Okay? Right. Any Psalms that he wrote. We don't know when they were put forth in his age. Why that matters. We're not theorizing here. This is a fact. Solomon fell away. Well, just like critical race theory, right? I just showed y'all how there was a man who spent 44 years of his life behind bars. Okay? Listen, it's no different than that. It's the same concept here. Only now we're going to bring it to the scripture. Solomon's way of moving is so bad. First and foremost, I could put everything on the shoulders of David because of what he did as to how Solomon was born through adultery. However, it was Solomon's own actions that allowed Jeroboam to take place to get the throne in Israel. So I can put a lot of this really at the feet of Solomon. My point being is that he was an evil man in his later age. So that part where he says, and will understand the parable and the dark speech, the saying of the wise also, and riddles. That means that when you read the Proverbs, if you understand what Solomon did was wrong, then he's talking about himself, y'all. I'm trying to give you the game real quick. This hit me last night. I'm talking about a full-blown epiphany. All right? Out-of-body experience almost that I had thinking about this stuff. Oh, super duper geeked in here off of some piff. And I read that. And my head blown away. Mind blown. When I say mind blown, mind blown. This is where Paul got his ability. This is where they got the literary effort for Paul. It's right out of the book of the Proverbs. Right. Because it's all self-aggrandizing. You follow what I'm saying? No other books. I need y'all to think about this. I'm going to just go to a random proverb, right? I'm going to go to a random proverb. We're going to go to Proverb. Looks like Proverb 29. Right? No, Proverbs. We'll start on Proverbs 24. My son, envy not bad men, nor desire to be with them. For their heart meditates falsehoods, and their lips speaks mischiefs. A house is built by wisdom and is set up by understanding. By discretion, the chambers are filled with all precious and excellent wealth. A wise man is better than a strong man, and a man who has prudence, than a large estate. Now listen to what now listen. This is the same type of talk. Okay? This is the same type of talk that Saul gives the people. Paul, dirty devil. And I need folks to understand, right on, is that without the Proverbs, there is no Paul. It's a fact. I'm going to read the very last part of the Proverbs. I'm just going to go skip to the back. It's chapter 31. Let me go ahead and see where I want to start. A righteous man is an abomination to an unrighteous man, and the direct way is an abomination to the sinner. First and foremost, if that's not obvious, right? But listen to what I'm saying. It's all self-aggrandizing. You could skip all over the Proverbs, man. I'm gonna just keep reading just different stuff. Proverbs chapter 14. Wise women build houses, but a foolish one digs hers down with her hands. He that walks uprightly fears the Lord, but he that is perverse in his ways shall be dishonored. Now, I don't know what world Solomon is living in, okay, where chicks are building houses back then, right on. And I know it. I know what it's actually trying to say is that a woman who actually builds up her home with her man, right on. You know what I'm saying? Like she's the wise one, right? Wise women build houses while a foolish woman digs into the ground. So what they're trying to say is that she builds something up. She don't tear it down and dig herself into a situation. She doesn't put herself down into a situation. But listen, y'all. What's that got to do with the law? Come on. Does a wise woman not follow her husband? So her husband does what? Her husband is the builder of the home. Right on? Because a truly wise man builds his house on the rock. And a foolish man builds his house on sand. But see, once again, you can't have it both ways, Solomon. You can't talk out both sides of your neck. See, I I hope y'all keeping up with your boy. I'm trying to show y'all that this is the same double speak you have to deal with is right here in the Old Testimony from a dude who told you when it first started that he's talking double speak. If you don't believe me, read it yourself. Why else would he say anything about dark speeches and riddles? Unless he's writing in dark speeches and riddles, which he does all through the Proverbs. I know people have a hard time accepting this. I know people don't want to hear that. That you just compared critical race theory to the Bible. Or that somehow you just bridge the two worlds together. It's like, no, actually, I just showed you the comparative ways in how in which somebody can produce something to you that actually is not true. Based on what they're presenting. None of what he says has to do with obeying the laws, keeping the laws. Right. If you want to teach people to be wise and be prudent, why would you not teach them the fucking law, Solomon? Thank you. See, it's things like that I need my people to get. You know what I'm saying? Solomon really made it hard for the people. Okay, he didn't make it easy for the people. This is why they revolted. So that everything that he says, you should take with a grain of salt anyway. Now, let me move forward to a different subject, right? This is just a general live stream, y'all. The next time I do it, I'll probably have both the little squares side by side. I'll have all my space, eaten up and taken up or whatever. But I just wanted to make sure that I could still stream on OBS. Right on. I wanted to make sure that I could still get down. This is my thing right here. This is what I do, y'all. Right on. I relay information to the people because it's important. You see what I'm saying? So this video could get 2 views. Doesn't even matter. As long as I know that OBS works, everything is all good. Now I'm gonna carry on for a few more moments, and then I'm gonna get all the way out your way. I'm gonna get all the way out your hair, and I'm gonna start putting together. I'm gonna start getting. I got a terabyte hard drive somewhere. I need to find it. Darn it, y'all. I'll find it. Anyway, so the point is this. The problem is this. Or not the problem. I need to get a bunch of information. I need to get a bunch of pictures. And then I need to figure out how OBS works pretty much again. I need to get it all down pat again. I don't have it down pat. But I remembered enough to how to do this. How to get a couple of the windows up and this, that, and the other. And I just really just want to just start showing all the information all over again. Because I know people don't be believing me. I'm not saying y'all don't believe. My people, my day ones, my real day ones. People don't even know I have day ones. Okay? My day ones know what I'm talking about. All right? My day 2 and 3s know what I'm talking about. But if they got here at the end of the week, they might be a little lost. So we have to catch them up. You understand me? We have to catch them up. Because if we don't catch them up, then they're going to be lost in the sauce forever. Let me tell y'all about an interesting dialogue that I had with Tariq Nasheed this morning. Last night till this morning. He does his little Instagram live things or whatever. Like I told y'all, I listen to other people. I listen to a lot of different people. White, black, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Gentile, man and Gentile. I listen to everybody. If you have something to say that I can either take from, learn from, or just pretty much just gather the information, I'm going to do that. Now, having said that, he was speaking on Gandhi, and somebody had called Gandhi racist, right? And, they all love to call Gandhi racist. My major pushback is this, though, is because they try to say, oh, well, just because he can... Listen to me. He didn't consult with this black man about how to best dress himself in a suit. He consulted with the black man. He said, hey, how do you give proper nutrition to a developing nation? This is why now over there, all throughout Asia, they eat soy, sweet potatoes, yams, peas, all that stuff. Who do you think introduced that to them? Right. So for Gandhi to be so racist, he literally allowed the nutrition of his nation to be hung on the shoulders of a black man that he wouldn't even be able to hold accountable. Think about that. But he's so racist. Is it not a possibility that Gandhi, like a lot of other people, played the game? It's impossible, huh? It's impossible that Gandhi just is like, you know what, I have to play the game. I don't have a choice but to play the game. You see what I'm saying? If I do anything else different, I'm touched or I'm out of there. That's not favorable for Gandhi. That's not favorable for the people that he was seeking to learn the keys of proper nutrition for. Right. Now, I know a lot of folks want to act like, what I'm saying right now is not a big deal, but the dialogue was as they was putting him down, I simply put in the comment section, I said, Gandhi was so racist that he conferred with George Washington Carver about nutrition of developing nations. I put ... you niggas. You know what I'm saying? Or put something like niggas. It had the word niggas in it. That's what I know. Not too long after that, this individual would hit me back and say, matter of fact, man, bump all that. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay? I can show you better than I can tell you. That's the whole point of me having this shit up here right now, isn't it? So that way I can point out to y'all just what I'm doing. So bang. So look at this. Oh, yeah. Nope. Boom. So, this is exactly what was said. And I had another response that got deleted, but I want y'all to just see this just for right now, okay? I said, Gandhi is so racist. He consulted with George Washington Carver on nutrition for developing nations. You niggas. Then, Russell Barbie. Russell Barbie is Tariq Nasheed. I swear to God. You have to know how people talk to understand. If you can teach because you know some things that others don't, and they may be saying things that are incorrect, then teach. Don't curse them out. You can't teach people anything that way, even though you can. We all need to teach one another. We all have much to learn. None of us knows everything. Listen, now this is how I know that is Tariq. Although many of us think we're the smartest people ever born. That's a shot at my persons. That's a shot at me, because people like to tell me I'm a know-it-all. Let's all calm down, learn a little more, and succeed. See that last word, and succeed. Those two words right there gave Tariq away. Nothing else gave him away, really, when I read it, but that last part. But the language, if you know how the man talks, it's language very similar to what he would use if he's trying to get his point across, if you've ever paid attention to the fellow. Now, I say, what if I already have best foot forward and none care? What then? Do I beg beggars to listen to me, or do I just keep? Do I beg beggars to listen to me, or do I just keep my head down and press forward? It was merely an observation meant to bring light to the dark parts of the mind. I don't have to know everything. I am only repeating what was or was already known to the earth. Nothing more, nothing less. And then this individual, Thomas Friday, who I believe also is Tariq with another burner account, what does that have to do with anything? Racists associate with people of darker races all the time. Gandhi was seeking knowledge from an expert, not talking about black people and Indian picnics in the park. You are confusing information inquiries with personal friendship respect, which is dangerous. P.S. What has Gandhi or any members of his family done for black people, or you specifically, for you to argue other black people about how cool he was? Now listen. The response I gave this nigga, I ate his ass up. Okay? I'll say I ate him up, right? He couldn't take it. So obviously he deleted that, and that's why y'all seen that last comment was, I couldn't repeat whatever. When I tell y'all, for a fact, not a opinion, these niggas don't know shit. Let me go ahead and break something down to you. The same niggas who would say that Gandhi is a racist would also claim that the Indian people, listen, I'm the only nigga that I ever knew. I told everybody, and then people might have remembered, but I'm the only nigga to ever say that I remember for facts. Yo, Columbus called the Indians over there. He called the natives here Indians because they came from over there, which is closer to India, okay? And he knew what the Indians looked like. That means that the Indians over here who were Aboriginal looking, black people looking, what else could they have been other than black people back then? This is 1492, y'all, right? So when you have people who will literally ignore all good logic and then also tell you shit like, well, the Indians are a biting culture off of the Egyptians. They got everything they believe they got from the Egyptians. It's even believed that the Egyptians went and ceded part of India along with the Ethiopians. This is a known fact. But yet, I'm caping for a motherfucker who probably realistically is a Negroid. I'm caping. But these niggas here will cape for a motherfucking biracial who got a for sure white person, white mama or a white daddy. Will call a person with a white father black, but won't call an actual Negroid a Negroid. and say because they've been oppressed and they don't feel like kumbaya with you that they're sellouts. But I don't get it. Aren't they supposed to look out for their own race? Right. And once again, you talking about getting close to black, bro. This nigga acts like your nutrition for a developing nation is no little fucking thing. Do y'all understand George Carver was a former slave? Do y'all get that? This man single-handedly helped the Americans win World War I without firing a shot. Make dyes, help them with different kinds of ammunitions, help them with all the colors that you need to be able to do every. Man, he did this stuff with sweet potatoes and yams, shit like that. People can't believe that. Come on. They don't want to hear that though. They want to think that because Gandhi has a couple of moments where I could point. There's black people in this country. So what does it mean when niggas hate black people but somebody else? I want y'all to really think about that. So it's okay for a person like Tariq to say that they can't stand no motherfucking sellout, coon, blah, 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 blah. But a person from another country has to love you just because you're black, or they have to show you. That doesn't even make sense. These niggas are all lost. They're all lost. I heard another nigga try to say some shit like, people pretty much overvaluing their worth. And I just think that's funny because it's like, coming from a half-breed, what does that mean? Word? You're not even full black. You know what I'm saying? Your worth is based on the fact that you're not even full black and you think you're better than niggas because you're not full black. See what I'm saying? See, I don't have two dances. I can't dance but one dance. That's the nig dance. I can't be like, well, I'm half Asian, or I'm half white, or I'm half Hispanic. I'm half this. That's not how it works. See, when you're really black and you actually look black, okay, all that other shit, miss me. Pull up a picture of Gandhi. See what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I'ma do it because I got the screen share on. Haha. Yeah. Gandhi. Bang. Bang. Images. Because he looks like a white man. Surely this is a white man. Surely Gandhi's white. Right on. Let me just tell y'all something, man. Life is crazy. Life is crazy. Y'all see that? That's what Gandhi looked like. He was a vehement anti-black racist. Vehement. Hold on, let me pull up a picture of a nigga who really hated black people, even though y'all don't think he did. What's his name? Marcus Garvey. Wife. Bam. So they're going to show you this black woman. Hold on. White woman. Yeah. He married a white chick. Don't get it fucked up. They might not want to show it here. Right on. If I had to pull up this nigga's history and put all this shit together, Marcus Garvey was married to a white chick. And they act like that wasn't a known thing. It's a known fact. Come on, Garvey. See? Now they want to hide this shit from me. Oh, y'all probably don't remember when I did that work all that time ago. No, let's go back to Garvey real quick. Because I want to talk about his coon ass. See, I love how niggas want to blow up this bitch ass nigga, right? But I'm telling you, Marcus Garvey was married to a white chick. I'm going to leave that picture right there. I love how niggas want to blow up his bitch ass. Let me tell you something about Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey had the fucking audacity to talk shit about W.E.B. Du Bois. Do you know W.E.B. Du Bois? People call him Du Bois, but his last name is French. See, what's so funny is that they will quote Marcus Garvey, but they won't quote the fact that Marcus Garvey called W.E.B. Du Bois an abomination. He said he's a little Portuguese, a little French, an abomination. He called that man at the end. But Du Bois supposed to take that, huh? People are like, oh, but didn't Du Bois say that he did wrong? It's easy to think you did wrong to somebody who you didn't even know what their full intent was. What was Marcus Garvey trying to get us to do? Go back to Africa, to the same fucking place, to the same niggas that sold us. Does that make any sense? Think about what I'm saying, y'all. That's not a theory. That's what he wanted. Marcus Garvey wanted black people to go back across the motherfucking ocean, right? And go ingratiate themselves to the same motherfuckers who sold them to the white devil. Okay? And niggas praise him. They act like he's not a righteous dude. He's a piece of shit. Give me one moment. Don't worry. I'm going to get everything right. I'm going to find out who the white woman was and everything. Just not today. I just don't care enough today. Who's another suck-ass nigga that people praise? Always got their privy member in their mouth. Come on. Farrakhan. No, not this bitch. Who the fuck is she? Farrakhan, dog. Don't play with me. Birth. Bam. Let him go back. Now look. Farrakhan was born 1933. I'm going to pull something up just so that way y'all niggas can see. He was born in 1933. Look, in 1934, Wallace Ford Muhammad disappeared from public records. Let's just get that right again. Let's just look at that one more time. In 1933, Farrakhan was born in the Bronx, New York. New York's not that far from Chicago, y'all. Boom. Wallace Fard Muhammad and Farrakhan both founded Nation of Islam. This is his father. You need y'all to understand. This dude right here, sired this dude. That's his father. I know niggas don't want to hear that. Okay, so why did he go missing in 1934 other than to raise his son to be the Prince of Islam? Okay then. I love being able to share the screen because the timelines don't lie. The timelines don't lie. They do not lie. Anybody who ever heard the story of Farrakhan tell the story about how he was born, about how his father snuck in, right? His biological father snuck in there, right? Got his mother pregnant and she tried to abort him several times. That's what he says. That's what he says she said. Her being from the islands, I'm thinking that if she wanted to get rid of a baby in her womb, she could have. What I believe is that she was from the islands, highly impressionable by this white dude who was calling himself black. Okay? Right? And she was a part of the original cult of Islam. You know, the kind that was doing the people sacrificing and all that shit. The reason why Fard Muhammad had to fall back, for real, not only just to raise his son, but because he was wanted in connection with human sacrificing, people sacrificing. Right. But a lot of folks don't know that, so they just assume that I'm just talking out the side of my neck. But if you can dispute the fact that Fard Muhammad came up missing in 1934, right? And that Farrakhan was born May 11th, 1933, if you want to tell me That those two things are not connected, sure, that's fine. That's a coincidence. Fine. But it's also a coincidence that Farrakhan won't tell you who his father is. It's also a coincidence that the only day that they observe in the Nation of Islam is Savior's Day, so-called Savior's Day, which is the birthday of Fard Muhammad. Come on, man. People really got to learn the game and really get hip to the stuff, because they might think I'm lying, but I know I ain't lying. You feel what I'm saying? They might think I'm telling a facade, or they might think that what I'm saying is not true. It doesn't matter, y'all. It does not matter. Because you and I all know that the things that I've been presenting, I've been saying for many years. I didn't just start saying it today. Now, like I said before, I get ready to get up out of here for real, because I got 10, 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes left in me before I got to just call it a wrap. Done data. Let me pull up this Google page. I'm trying to think of what else I might want to just talk about real quick. Let me go back to the critical race theory. Damn. Okay, that's good enough. That's legible. So now let me get back to that. I'm reading. In the field of legal studies, critical race theory emphasizes that merely making laws colorblind on paper may not be enough to make the application of laws colorblind. Ostensibly, colorblind laws can be applied in a racially discriminatory ways. Now, just in case anybody's wondering, Meech, what is a prime example of that? Okay. Crack cocaine versus cocaine, right? Doesn't matter who has it, it's still an illegal drug. But we're going to emphasize crack cocaine. We're going to flood black neighborhoods with crack cocaine. Therefore, we're going to police these places, as opposed to trying to police somewhere that could actually be a distributor of the crack cocaine, right? But powder cocaine is not crack to them, so what's the big deal? Even though, like I told y'all, standardized regular cocaine is far more dangerous than crack. Far more dangerous. Anyway, might not be as addictive, I would know, but based on what people have told me, based on what they say, it's crack is cheaper, but it's more addictive in the sense that because it's so cheap, people want to stay high like that. Whereas coke costs a lot more money, so unless you really actually have the money for it, you're just not going to get it that often or as often. So they could go to Beverly Hills. They could have went to Beverly Hills. They could have went to all the nice places where they knew that people were doing cocaine at, but instead they decided to police black neighborhoods. Right. And by and large, black men were locked up, and a lot of black men are still incarcerated till this day. Okay? Behind what people are calling critical race theory. It's not a theory. If you've done it, it's no longer a theory. Can you feel what I'm saying, y'all? If they've accomplished it, what about that is theorizing? And that's the dangerous part. See, that's the dangerous part of brothers and sisters not understanding the implications of wordplay and then also the placement of a word. Because, look, we're going to pull up one of these articles, right? Where it says, a lesson on critical race theory, AmericanBar.org, right? This is the American bar, y'all. You feel what I'm saying? This isn't just whoever. Here we go. Okay, dog. Can I see this shit right here? The privacy policy. What the fuck is wrong with this shit? I'm not trying to read all that. That's stupid. 1 second. In September 2020, President Trump issued an executive order excluding from federal contracts any diversity and inclusion training interpreted as containing divisive concepts, race or sex stereotyping, and race or sex scapegoating. Among the content considered divisive is critical race theory. In response, African American Policy Forum, led by legal scholar Kimberly Crenshaw, launched the hashtag Truth Be Told campaign to expose the harm that the order poses. Reports indicate that over 300 diversity and inclusion trainings have been canceled as a result of the order, and over 120 civil rights organizations and allies signed a letter condemning the executive order. The NAACP, Legal Defense and Educational Fund, LDF, and the National Urban League, NUL, and the National Fair Housing Alliance filed a federal lawsuit alleging that the executive order violates guarantees of free speech and equal protection and due process. So what exactly is CRT? Why is it under attack? And what does it mean for the civil rights lawyer? CRT is not a diversity and inclusion training, but a practice of interrogating the role of race and racism in society that emerged in the legal academy and spread to other fields of scholarship. Now listen, if they were not racist, listen, if America was not a racist nation, this wouldn't even be an issue. Let's go ahead and keep it reading though. It cannot be confined to a static and narrow definition, but is considered to be an evolving and malleable practice. It critiques how the social construct of race and institutionalized racism perpetuate a racial caste system that relegates people of color, that relegates black people to the bottom fucking tier. See, this is that shit I'm talking about. When they write it like that, anyway. CRT also recognizes that race intersects with other identities, including sexuality, gender identity, and others. CRT recognizes that racism is not a bygone relic of the past. Instead, it acknowledges that the legacy of slavery, segregation, and imposition of second-class citizenship on Black Americans and other people of color continue to permeate the social fabric of the... Fuck other people of color right now. Can you see that? That's where you'll get me to push back. I'm not worried about you if you're Mexican. I'm not worried about you if you're Asian. I'm not worried about you if you're Islander. I'm not worried about you if you're not a nig. It's that fucking simple. I'm worried about my people first. Everybody else get way in the fucking back. There wouldn't even be critical race theory if they weren't racist to black people. Principles of CRT. While recognizing the evolving and malleable nature of CRT, scholar Kiera Bridges outlines the key tenets of CRT. Recognition that race is not biologically real, but is socially constructed. Stop right there. Stop right there. Gotta leave it alone. Gotta leave it alone. See? Race is not real, y'all. Then how is there critical race theory? If there's no fucking such thing as race, the critical race theory doesn't exist. It's the dumbest shit ever, man. What's up, Leonard Judah? Big bro. You know, I'm slow on the draw here. I can't see everything on my phone. I'm trying to keep up with y'all. But, you know, there ain't been too much action down there today, so I haven't had to do too much keeping up. But just, man, did y'all... Look, I'm not going to keep reading that. There's nothing to keep reading. You defeated your whole point and purpose by saying that race is a construct that doesn't exist. Okay, so dogs aren't real. What the fuck do they think genera is? Race is based on genetics. You can't just make a white person out of black people. You can get an albino, but an albino don't have straight hair. Okay? Race is fucking real. You niggas who don't think, anybody who thinks race is a social construct, please leave. Please leave. Unsubscribe, flag, and report my shit down right now. Because I don't need to be around nobody like that. And I can't stand the thought that there are people that I congeal with and affiliate with, right on? Who I consider counsel. in many different instances that would believe in their minds something as insipid as the idea that genealogy does not dictate what you look like. What you look like is what you are. What you are is called race. Mankind is a race. Thank you very much. Dogs are a race. Cats are a race. Cows, sheep are types of races. They're types of genera. Their gene structure produces the race of cows. Their gene structure produces the race of horses. When y'all say shit like that, when y'all niggas get and be like, oh, it's just a social construct, you sound so ignorant. And the white dudes be like, ha, 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 ha. We got him. That's how they be feeling. They be like, we got him. Oh, man, salute to you, brother. You know, I'm just a lowly scrub trying to hold it down for y'all, man, because, you know, it ain't been easy. It has not been easy. It's been very difficult just to stay cool, calm, and collected while I explain all these things. You know? But this is the truth. And we all know it's the truth. We all know I'm not lying. Critical race theory. Does it even make sense, y'all? Okay, check this out. Telling me or telling you that race is all in our head. So pretty much slavery didn't happen. I mean, you can't have it both ways. Okay, slavery happened. Okay, did the folks who were enslaved look like those who enslaved them? No, not by and large. So if that's the case, okay, so your race is not real. So what are they called then? You think a culture's bigger than a race? Let me go ahead and read something to y'all real quick. Once again, I know everybody thinks that the Bible's not real and make-believe, but let me just read something to y'all real quick, right? And tell me what you think. Chapter 11, verse 1 of the Genesis. And all the earth was one lip, and there was one language to all. And it came to pass, as they moved from the east, they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And a man said to his neighbor, come, let us make bricks and bake them with fire. And the brick was to them for stone, and their mortar was bitumen or resin from trees, type of tar. And they said, come, let us build to ourselves a city and tower, whose top shall be to heaven. And let us make to ourselves a name before we are scattered abroad upon the face of all the earth. And the Lord come down to see the city and the tower, which the sons of men built. And the Lord said, oh, excuse me, let me go back real quick. And it said, come, let us build to ourselves a city and tower, whose top shall be to heaven. And let us make to ourselves a name before we are scattered abroad upon all the face of the earth. So they knew what they were doing was wrong. They knew that the consequence would be that they would be separated. Let's just keep reading. And the Lord and the Lord came down to see the city and tower, which the sons of men built. Not humans, but the sons of men. And the Lord said, verse 6, behold, listen, behold, there is one race and one lip of all. And they have begun to do this. And now nothing shall fail from them of all that they may have undertaken to do. Come, and having gone down, let us there confound their tongues, that they may not understand each the voice of his neighbor. Now let me go ahead and break something down to y'all. Verse 31 of chapter 10 ends like this. These are the tribes of the sons of Noah, according to their generations, according to their nations. Of them, the islands of Gentiles, of them were the islands of Gentiles scattered over the earth after the flood. Stop right there. What's going to bust everybody's bubbles is that, number one, it says that they're a race. Number two, when I go back and I read it, it explains that all the sons of Noah, all those were tribes, right? Does it have to tell us that they were one race? Back then, no, because it's a repeat of what happened, and then a much more clear, detailed event. So in Genesis 10, we have all the different families of the children of Sem, Ham, and Japheth, and then in Genesis 11, you have the separation of them. I'm just trying to speak to y'all that all their children have made it, and they had all became one solid people. It wasn't until they were scattered, until the earth was verse 26 of chapter 10. Verse 25. And to Eber were born two sons, the name of one, Peleg, because in his days the earth was divided, and the name of his brother, Joktan. Now, for the earth to be divided, we all know that it has to be one piece. And it tells us later on that the isles of the Gentiles were scattered after. So that means that not that the Gentiles were scattered, but the isles of the Gentiles, meaning that these are the places that the Gentiles would inhabit later on. Come on. I'm trying to give y'all the game. Stay with me. If this is the case, Gentiles are a race. What? Did anybody hear me? Gentiles are a race. Does it say, did I say a specific race? No. But Gentiles are a race. Now, I've contended that Gentile, in my mind, even though they'll try to tell you it means heathen and this, that, and the other, the book of the Genesis is about genealogy. I believe Gentile literally means genetic tile, meaning that they are different pieces of genetic structure, which is why a lot of them have hair like animals, look like animals, but walk on two legs like men. Come on, I'm trying to break it down to you. What they call humanoids. Brothers and sisters, the critical race theory is not a theory once again. Because, like I was just saying, they can't have it both ways. If race is a construct and it's make-believe and it's fake, you can't tell the people who you're saying that it's a make-believe construct that they're doing something to you under the guise of a make-believe construct. Did anybody follow that? If you follow that, give your boy a damn old 1 or 2. Type a number in the comment section so I know that I'm not that everybody. Please, I have to know that you guys are tracking right now. Right on. I just need somebody to respond so that way I know that somebody's with me. Right on. Because this is what it means, y'all. This is what it means. Okay, so boom. I'm glad that, right, y'all with me. So y'all are with me. So y'all are seeing what I'm saying. I'm not telling no lies. It would make more sense for the brothers and the sisters to say that even if they can't prove that race is truly based on, they're saying that it's not biologically based. So if it's not biologically based, why were you born black? Huh? You see what I'm saying? If it has nothing to do with biology, why were you born looking like this? Why do we all look different? Why do some black people look a certain way? Why do other black people look another way? Right? So when they try to force onto us that we are not a race and that we are not, once again, man, you're a special, particular people. Okay? You guys are superb because you've taken so much. And when I say taken so much, I mean that all the negative energy that the world has thrown at you, that earth has thrown at you, still you stand. So I will be dead and dying before I allow out of my two lips to say that race is a construct, is a social construct invented by somebody who calls themselves white. No, colors is a social construct because ain't nobody no color. We're brown, they're pink looking, and everybody else is something in between. The only real black people on earth, talking about truly black people, come from a specific region of the earth. Come on. The same place that those other ones come from. Come on. And that ain't no stab at nobody. That's just life. They're not going to tell me that. They're not going to tell me after seeing pictures of old Chaldeans. Y'all remember when I used to do that stuff all the time with the Chaldeans, right? They was brown skinned with little afros and stuff. The Chaldeans caught the Hebrews. I got to get that picture. That's like my favorite picture to show people. They're brothers in that picture. The question that you have to ask yourself is that if we all started off way darker skin, right? I'm talking about considerably darker than me. Bro, we're talking about tire black. We're not talking cherry black here, y'all, okay? We're not talking cherry cola, all right? All right? We're talking all the way midnight black. For that genome, okay, to all of a sudden be, I won't even say recessive, but there's way less dark-skinned people who are black than people think. There's a lot of dark-skinned people. That's whatever. I got a lot of dark-skinned people in my family. That's nothing. Having said that, I'm talking about cats who are literally black. And we are black like the screen that's next to me that y'all are seeing. Right on? Black like that. If folks are going to say that somebody who looks like that is totally normal to the earth, those are the same folks who sold us, come on, to their pale skinned genetic cousins. And a few couple of nigga Greeks riding with them. Something I wanted to break down to y'all. I do believe now that the language that was being spoke when the people were captive, being taken captive, was English. Because it's the only language that I can think of that is not indigenous to Earth, that is not original to Earth. As far as like languages that were spoken back then, like, you know, Latin and Aramaic were still spoken 400 years ago. People still spoke those languages pretty well. So for me to have assumed before that it could have been Latin or that the people forgot Latin, no. They were speaking English. But now back to critical race for just half a second, because I got to get ready to make some food and eat. The construct of race is not a construct. Okay? It's not a construct. Okay, there's nothing made up about it. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? There is no make-believe. There is no fake part about this. It's all real. And we just have to appreciate, the greater levels of all of it. Brothers and sisters, I'm about to really get up out of here and make do with my time, but this is what I leave y'all with. If critical race theory, so-called race theory, if it's fake and here's the thing. If white folks don't think that is, or if they think that is bad or whatever, right? Why don't they just use the theory itself to kill it? And say, well, look, the theory's based on the idea that race doesn't actually exist. Well, since they don't think that race exists, how can we be being racist? If there's no such thing as race, listen to me again. If there's no such thing as race, how can they be being racist to you, brothers and sisters? That makes no sense. But they got confused niggas who, man, these niggas is confused who they got to do this stuff. Anyhow, look, I got to get up off this joint. I got to just stop streaming, blah, 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 blah. I got to just let this whole thing go because this has been a funny one for me. I've enjoyed it. I hope y'all enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? I got a couple more seconds for y'all. I won't leave y'all just yet, but this whole thing is really funny because we all know that I'm not lying. Like, anybody who thinks that what I'm saying is wrong, they're living in their own head. I'll say it like that. Like, you're living in your own head. And this is why it's dangerous when black people have stuff. Because the dude who was saying that, he's saying that he has 2 medical degrees, right? Okay, well, here's the thing, though, bro. You're doing so well that you're in a room full of white folks. Your son goes to a predominantly white looking school while you claim you're in the hood every day. So first and foremost, you don't even trust your son to go to school around black people. So if critical race theory is fake, if all that stuff is make believe, then why don't you let your son go to school with the black people? Oh, that's right, because you think niggas are dangerous. But somehow critical race theory is fake. See, it's because you have dudes like that who are so, this nigga is so confused and he doesn't know what side of the fence he wants to stand on. Right on? The brother wants to be not hated by white folks, but at the same time, he don't want to seem like he's a black person who is going to blame every single one of their woes on racism and never ever hold themselves to account. I tell y'all all the time how racist shit is with me, but there's things that I do that could make things either easier or more difficult for me. And so at that level, it's not for me to start, it's not for me to say, oh, these people are making my life hard. What did you do? You was out there doing something. I mean, if you were doing nothing, literally doing nothing, and you get accosted, that's wrong. But if you were doing something and you get accosted and you feel that how you're being accosted doesn't match the activity that you were engaged in, that's a whole other thing. And this brother is trying to deny people their sensibilities. So now if a cop comes up and shoots a brother, so I guess that's okay. Based on what he's saying, everybody who's been killed by the police deserves it because black people kill other black people. But white folks kill other white folks, and nobody's saying, well, when are we going to stop white on white crime? You don't ever hear that. You just hear crime. Crime, 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 crime. But even though the most murders that take place in the U.S. are by white folks, they do not tell you about all of these murders that take place at these trailer parks. They don't tell you about all the murders that take place in the suburbs in America right now. Every day there's a story that gets scrubbed off the news network because they don't want folks to see just how destitute white folks have become. Like I told y'all last year, they said, not me, they said that the deaths of despair reached a record high in their community. Do y'all know what deaths of despair are? Those are suicides. So once again, you have brothers who will tell you that, they're not racist. They ain't did nothing wrong to you. But at the same time, if you look at their track record, they know that there's something wrong with them because they have nice houses, right? Right on. They're married. They have their children with them. Everything is intact. They got the little family dog and all that stuff, right? And that's just not enough. For some odd reason, something's bothering them so much that they feel the need to kill themselves and their whole family. Right. Right. See, now, I don't condone once again, I've already told y'all, we cannot go toe-to-toe right now at this moment. So trying to go toe-to-toe is just going to get us killed, get us hurt. I'm not with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not with that. I'm not with anybody going out there and losing their life or laying down their life for some bullshit. I just don't agree with that. What I do agree with, though, is there comes a time when you just have to stand up for yourself and damn be the consequences. I know the feeling. I understand the feeling. I respect the feeling. All I'm saying is that, brothers and sisters, you can't be the victim of something that you know that you didn't do. One moment. Oh, I'm going to have to give these guys at OBS a couple of bucks so that way I can keep my screen resolution nice and good. It didn't crapped out as the video done went along. Anyhow, I ain't going to worry about that. As long as I can share the screen, I really don't care. What a day, y'all. I'm telling y'all, what a day. Where we want to go? Where we want to go? One more time. One last thing before I get out of here, and then I gotta go. Where are we at? What are we thinking of, y'all? What is the thought right now? Not critical race theory. No. That's right. Free Friedrich Froebel. Now let me just go ahead and break something down to y'all. Friedrich Froebel actually is the reason why we all get an education today. Right on? This dude right here. And the reason why I say education is because I'm going to blow this up. Right on? I'm going to go to the Britannica.com real fast. I'll allow myself to read just a little bit. Even though I've read this stuff to y'all before. Was born in Oberwisbach, Turnigia, Ersten, Saxony, now in Germany. Died June 21, 1852. Merenthal, near Bad Liebstein, Thuringia. German educator who was the founder of kindergarten and one of the most influential educational reformers of the 19th century. No, he is the most influential. We're gonna focus on this part, but listen, I just want you to hear this. Froebel was the fifth child in a clergyman's family. You know, a clergyman is a man of the cloth. His mother died when he was only 9 months old, and he was neglected as a child until an uncle gave him a home and sent him to school. Froebel acquired a thorough knowledge of plants and natural phenomena while at the same time beginning the study of mathematics and languages. We're going to skip through a little bit. No. Let's just read a little bit of that. He tried various kinds of employment, blah, 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 blah. 2 years as an assistant to Gruner. Froebel went to Vietnam. Where are we at? Where does he come to America? Or when he teaches Mrs. Elizabeth Peabody. If y'all ever remember the Peabody, right? You know what I'm saying? The dog, right? That was actually based on Elizabeth Peabody, who I want to say is like his first what do you call it, man? Somebody under your tutelage, pupil, and the Montessori, right on the Montessori schools that are all over the place. He's also responsible for that character too. Listen, what I'm trying to point out is this: is that whether people think it's critical race theory, right? That German dude right there thought it was important that number one, that God was in school, and that women taught the babies. Okay? Now the reason why I'm pushing back on this critical race stuff is because women produced it. Why I'm pushing back is because women are naturally, their energy is naturally more receptive towards people. Like people normally take what women to say, unless it's just some complete absurd foolery, right? Then they might ignore her. But if it's reasonable and it sounds sensible, they'll consider it. And the reason why this is dangerous and in the case of what we're talking about right now is because you have a situation where the power that a man named Friedrich Froebel, white Gentile dude, worked to establish for them to get over 100 years ago, they're willfully forfeiting. Come on. Did you think Friedrich Froebel believed that there was no such thing as race? Huh? Like, he had to have believed in race. He had to have believed in genealogy and all that stuff. Kindergarten means the child garden. Kindergartners were the women who were actually the gardeners of the children. Meaning what? They're supposed to prune them and raise them up to being beautiful, righteous, radiant plants. That's the idea. Did that ever manifest and take place the way that he thought he wanted it to? No. But the fact that he had the idea and knew that a woman's worth was not laying on her back, okay, and it's not just pushing out babies. It's the actual rearing and teaching of the child, where in which she'll spend more time with the child normally than the man does, until the child becomes a certain age and can work. So she naturally should nurture the child. However, everyone doesn't look at it like that. So we have people who are telling us right now that your genealogy, the way you look, the way that you were born, that's just random fucking chance. You were randomly born with the afro. You were randomly born with brown skin. That was all random chance. It was just a dumb stroke of luck. Even though you have a parent, a mother, even though you have parents, a mother and a father. That's just a dumb stroke of dumb luck that they were born looking like that, huh? Anyway, y'all, look, I'm out of here. I'm pulling up on YouTube right now. I'm ending the stream. So when I get to that page, I'm giving y'all a salute. I'm gone. Okay? Racist Tribe, Izzy's Dirty Living Room. And for that, you get one of these things. Hey, y'all, look, I salute you. Y'all know I appreciate everything that y'all do, man. I love y'all. Y'all have a blessed night. May tomorrow be better than today. Can you dig it? And may this week be better than your last week. I say that. I say good night. Peace.